no stress. Go, pick up the flow. Pain no dues in my city.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday with me, Karim. And you're watching Smart English, of course. And you guys know, if you can hear me and everything's okay, type yes in the chat so that I know everything's good and we can start. And thank you, Julian, for the awesome song that I was just playing right now. So yeah, those of you watching who don't know in the chat right now, that song was Julian's song, which is cool. And everybody's saying yes, so you can hear me. All right. Hello and welcome again to another Wednesday with me, Karim, and you guys are watching Smart English. And today is what? What is the date today? Today is Wednesday, the 18th of July, 2018. So let me just very quickly give a hello and a shout out to the people in the chat, and then we can start. So of course, after being away for such a long time, Julian is back with us today. So very nice to see you again, Julian. I was actually worried about you for a while there, but yeah, very nice to have you back, and it's great to talk to you again. We also have Ahmed, we have Helena, Lolly, Anderney. Anderney is also here. David, RE88. Davood is also here. Who else do we have? Lolly. Alex, I believe from the Ukraine. Hello, Alex from the Ukraine. Welcome to the class. Thank you for coming. Ricardo is also here. Miriam is here today. We have... We have Canopy. Hello, Canopy. Very nice to see you, and thank you for coming to the class. We also have Julio, or Julio. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Lolly, of course, is also here as usual. We have Mahmoud. We have Summer. Hello, Summer. Thank you for coming to the class as always. Charlene is also here today. Hello, Charlene. Arslan is here. Hi, Arslar. Pilar, of course, as usual, is always here. Hello, Pilar. We have Muhammad Haloui. Muhammad Haloui. I think that is how I say your second name. I'm not sure, but I know your first name is Muhammad. So hello, Muhammad. Pilar is here, of course. I think I already said that. Where is? There she is. Judith, of course, is always here. We have Rahana or Rehana. And I believe that's everybody. If I missed your name, I am sorry. Edgard is here. Hi, Edgard. Turkic Avars and Nicola and Abdul Wahab. Hello, Abdul Wahab. And also Ala. Hello, Ala. Very nice to have you in the class. Just guys, if you can do me a favor, anybody whose name is not in English, if you can please change your name to English, just so the other people in the chat know who you are and they can talk to you if they want to. Nihal is also here. Hello, Nihal. Jacqueline is here. Hello, Jacqueline. Thank you for coming. Noor is also here as usual. Thank you for coming, Noor. And I believe that's everybody that I can see, at least right now. All right, so today, in case you guys are wondering, we are going to be talking about reported speech, which is actually pretty important in English, right? So we're going to talk about a lot of things today that's related to reported speech. Before I do that, let me do my intro very quickly. I'll tell you guys who won movie quote of the week last week, which was kind of surprising because somebody was actually faster. Somebody was faster, believe it or not, than Summer. Yes, I know, it's shocking. Somebody was actually faster than Summer. But did they win? We will find out. So we'll see in a bit. All right, so here we go. Let me go a little bit small. Oh, by the way, Julian, I think, changed some of the transitions. So let's see how it looks like. Boom. Oh, it's still the same. It's the same transition. Isn't it? Yeah, it's the same transition. I don't think he changed it. He was playing around here earlier, and he said that he might have changed it. Giovanni is also here. Hello, Giovanni. It's his second time to the class. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming again to the class, Giovanni. It's very nice to have you. All right, so you guys know this, but those of you who don't, you're watching this awesome free English lesson on the amazing Smart English YouTube channel. So please, if you have not done so yet, click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and after you watch this video, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. But give us something, right? Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. React somehow to the video. If you go all the way down on the page, you're going to find my face, boop-de-boop, on my face, and it's going to take you to my page, which is Smart English with Karim. And yeah, over there I have shorter videos usually that I share with you guys, videos that I film around Vancouver, and some small games that I play with you with phrases and idioms and things like that. So please feel free to come and check me out over there too. For those of you who don't know, I have a private channel on YouTube. It's not related to Smrt. It's my own channel, and it's called Food AF. So if you like to eat, if you like food, if you like to learn new original recipes, you can come and check me out over there. I don't teach English, but I speak in English, so you guys can practice listening. So yeah, please come and check out my food channel. It's hopefully you'll like it, and tell your friends. Besides that, for the people that keep asking, how do we donate? How do we give you guys money? How do we give you any sort of support or donations or anything like that? If you really want to do that, there's two ways for you guys to do this. In the description of any of our videos, there's a link that will take you to our smartenglish.com website, right? And you can do it this way. So if you like the content that I provide, if you like the content that Kent provides, and you guys want to show any sort of support or appreciation, that's where you can do that, right? So you can subscribe to me or to Kent or to both of us or to none of us. And that's the important part, is that this is not necessary, right? You don't have to do this. This is just for the people who are asking about it. $5 Canadian a month, and you can cancel this at any time. The other way for you guys to do this is through the chat. So this is the chat right now. This is all of you guys talking and chatting in here. So in the chat, there's this $ button at the bottom. If you press that, that's super chat, and then you can actually send me a direct amount immediately, right? So, and you can choose basically how much you want to send, and this is one time, right? So the difference is the chat one is immediate and it's once. The one on the smrt.com page is a subscription, which means every month you're going to pay the $5 until you cancel it, and you can cancel at any time. And that's it. One more thing, or a couple of other things that I want to mention for the people that sometimes ask questions that I ignore or that I don't answer in the class, because usually I focus on the lesson that I'm talking about. This is the best place that you guys can do this. So please come and join our group on Facebook. It's quite an active group, and it's quite large, and people will always answer your questions over there, right? It's a very nice group, and we basically, it's through membership, right? So you have to join and we have to accept. So don't worry about meeting weird or shady people in there, right? People that don't behave in the group, we kick them out. So please, if you want to ask any questions that are related to English that I don't answer during the streams, this is where you do it. So the group is called Learn English on Facebook with Smrt. Learn English on Facebook with Smrt. Last thing is Discord, and I will give you guys the link for that in the chat right now. So there it is. You guys can click on this link, and this will take you to our Discord page. And on Discord, we have a lot of other stuff that's going on over there too, right? So we talk, share pictures, have fun, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, so come and join our Discord family also. And I believe that is it. So let's get to today's stuff. I think a few more people came in. Muhammad al-Sayyid, hello Muhammad, and Amith. Muhammad says, Karim, you do a good job, and I think you have to work on SEO to get more followers. You are probably right. But I don't really have any background experience with SEO that much, so I don't really know what to do about it. But you're probably right. Mariam says, Karim, hi, it's been a very long time. Hello, Mariam, and welcome back to the class. She says, I didn't see you. You have changed somehow. How have I changed? All of us change when time passes, but I don't know how I changed. Did I change bad or did I change in a good way? I'm not sure, but thank you for coming back. It's very nice to see you again. All right. What did I want to tell you first? Oh yes. So this was the movie quote for last week. It says, "This has become a large problem, Ave." And then Avi says, "There's no such thing as problems, Mr. Green, only situations." And this quote was from I think it's a cool movie. A lot of people that I've talked to, I found were confused a little bit with this movie. But honestly, it's actually a very good movie. If you watch if you watch it a couple of times, there's a lot of layers and a lot of really deep concepts that they talk about in this movie. So the movie's called Revolver, and it's a movie by one of my favorite directors. His name is Guy Ritchie, and it stars Jason Statham and Andre 3000. If you guys know the singing group, oh man, I forgot the name right now. Outkast. He's from Outkast. So this guy over here, his name is Andre 3000, which is very cool, I think. But yeah, so this is the movie that the quote was from last week, and the winner for movie quote of the week actually was Summer. Summer was not first to answer, which was very shocking. But she did win. So I don't think I saw you in the chat today, Gloria, but Gloria Castro was actually first. I don't know how she beat Summer to it. But yeah, she was first, but she guessed the wrong movie. She said Me, Myself, and I, which is not the correct movie. The correct movie is Revolver, and Summer actually got that right. So Summer, even though you were not super fast, as usual, you actually still won. So a virtual high five to Summer. All right, that's it. Stick around till the end of the lesson today, and I will give you guys a new movie quote of the week for this week. And hopefully you'll get a chance to beat Summer this week. Julian is back, which is who's Summer's #1 competitor. So we'll see if Julian can steal a win. All right, let's get to today's lesson. Ladies and gentlemen. Let me just, where are we? English 120, and today we are doing reported speech, so all the way down. There we go. Reported speech number 1. David said, Karim, you said she did win. Why not she won? I could have said she won. But I don't remember exactly the sentence that I said. It's not wrong for me to say she did, but I can't remember the sentence. Maybe when I watch the video again later, I might see. But yeah, I could have said she won. All right, so let's talk about reported speech, which is actually a very important topic, I would say, in grammar and English, because we use it quite often, right? Like a lot of the things that we say are things that others talked about. Actually, let's talk about what is the meaning of reported speech, right? So let's break that down first before we talk about the grammar. So to report, right? What is to report something? To report something is what? Is when you say something that someone else basically said, right? Or you are telling me, right? Either in a written form or a verbal form, something that someone else had said. So that's basically what reported speech for the purposes of today's lessons is, right? So when you report something that someone else had already told you, right? That's basically what it is. So we're going to look at a few ways that we do this. And I actually prepared, but I'll share that with you in a little bit. I prepared another document that I want to give you guys that hopefully is going to be useful, and you can Edgard Kant told me that your name is or was Karim the Dream. Karim the Dream? I don't know why he said that. All right, so let's take a look. What did the teacher say? Reporting means, one more time, reporting means to talk about what someone else said earlier. In English, you can report things using direct or what we call reported speech. So, direct speech. In direct speech, we use the exact words said by the speaker with quotation marks, right? So, we're going to talk about two different ways to do this today, right? To report. The first way is direct speech or direct speech. And very simply, direct speech is actually the easy one, right? So this is not going to be a problem, hopefully, for anybody, because this is the easy way to do it, right? So in direct speech, we use the exact words, and this is very, very important, said by the speaker with quotation marks. And actually, we call them quotes, right? That's what a quote is. And most of you know quotes, right? A quote is something famous that, well, it doesn't have to be famous, but most of us know it this way, right? We know famous quotes. Most people know famous quotes, which means what? Which means something that somebody else said before, usually somebody famous. So there's a lot of quotes, for example, from people like Einstein or celebrities or philosophers or anybody who's written anything that became famous, right? Basically, that is what we call a quote. Now, for a quote to be a quote, there are two important things that you have to do. First of all, you need to use quotation marks. And quotation marks, for the people that don't know, are these things, right? So I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen or not, but those little things here, right? So for example, if somebody had said, "I am hungry," right? And then you put it in between quotes, that means that is something that somebody else said, and they said it exactly in this same way. You did not change the order of the words. You did not change a letter. You did not even use another word that has the same meaning of any of the words that that person used, right? And that's important for it to be a quote. So two things. You have to use the exact words. Exact words. You can't change the words. And you have to put them inside quotation marks. I'm a stable genius, said Trump. She did win, Karim. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's a quote, right? You guys are quoting what I said. So direct speech is very common in stories. It's common in novels and newspaper and blog articles, because you're reporting exactly what somebody else said, right? And you don't want people to misunderstand or think that this is what you're saying or you're saying it in your way. No, right? You're trying to show that, hey, this is exactly what somebody else said, not me. We usually use the verb say for statements and ask for questions, right? So let's take a look at some examples. It says, "My name is John." My name is John. So this guy came to me and he says to me, "My name is John." And let's say, for example, I want to tell you what he said. So I would say something like, remember, we said, well, we use say for statements and ask for questions. So you can say, "He said, my name is John." Now, if you notice, what do we mean by the exact words? I mean, when I repeated what he said, that's what I did. I repeated it, right? I didn't change it. I used exactly the same words. So he said, and then when I'm telling you what he said, I'm using the same words. I don't change them and I don't change the order. My name is John, right? So that's the two things that are important, right? You need to use the exact words and you have to put them inside the quotation marks. So in other words, anything inside the quotation marks means that this is something that someone else has said and this is the way that they said it, using the exact order of the words. Education, hi, this is my second time here. Hello, education, and thank you for coming back a second time here. Hopefully you'll come next week for the third. But thank you for coming. It's very nice to have you. Another example. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. He said, I don't want to do that. Now, notice, he said, and then I repeated exactly what that person in this picture said, right? I don't change. The I stays the I. Don't, want, to, do, and that, right? You don't change anything when you are quoting somebody. Tamim. Oh, thank you so much, Tamim. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. That's very, very kind of you to say. Thank you. Last example. Where are you going? Again, she asked. Now, remember, because this is a question, so I'm telling you that she asked, where are you going? And it's the same, right? You don't change any of the words that she used. You don't change the order, and you put them inside quotation marks. Now, technically, if you think about it, a question is also something that you say, right? So what I'm trying to tell you now is sometimes some people will say, hey, she said, where are you going? And you can't really tell them, or you can't say that they're wrong, right? If somebody says she said and then they repeat what she said, but it's a question, you can't really say it's wrong because a question is still something that people say, right? But we're just saying, right? Usually we use say for statements, and usually we say asked if it was a question or a request. Education has one question, please. When you're quoting someone, do you do something with your hands to show that you are just reporting? I think education is talking about this gesture that people make. You know, when you go like this. Yes, this gesture means it's a quote. However, I wouldn't, right? If I'm quoting somebody, I wouldn't use this gesture because, in reality, the way that people actually use this quotation gesture is to show sarcasm. And sarcasm very simply means when you don't really mean what you're saying, right? When you don't really mean what you're saying, or you're making fun of it, or you're telling a person that I don't really believe what you said. So, for example, let's say that somebody introduces themselves to you, and they introduce themselves as a doctor. And later on, you're talking with a friend, and it's like, "Hey, did you see John?" He's like, "Who's John?" You know, the guy who said that he's a doctor. That's how people usually use this sign, right? That he's a doctor. And what I mean is, I don't really believe he's a doctor. Or do you believe that this guy's a doctor? So that's what this gesture means. But we don't use it when you really are quoting somebody, right? Because then people might misunderstand that you're being sarcastic. But yeah, that's the gesture that you're talking about. All right, so far we've talked about direct speech, how to say something that somebody else said to you, and we've talked about the direct approach. And the direct approach, very simply, is when you say what they said without changing it, right? You don't change any of the words, you don't change any of the order, and you have to put it inside quotation marks. And that's what the quotation marks means, right? It means that this is something that someone else said. So that part is easy. Usually nobody has any problems with this part, right? To quote is very, very simple. You just repeat exactly what a person said, and that's it. Now, let's talk about reported speech. I wouldn't. It's very rare, education, to be honest. It's very rare for people to use this gesture today. If they're being serious, most people use it to show that they're being sarcastic. All right, so let's take a look at reported speech now. Reported speech is another way that you report what others have said. Unlike, right? So not the same as direct speech. With reported speech, we do not use the person's exact words, and that's mainly the difference between using a direct way of reporting and using the reported speech of reporting. So one more time, the direct, you use exactly the same words that the person said. You don't change anything that they've said. In a reported speech, we don't use the same exact words, and we also don't use quotation marks, because I just told you quotation marks means this is exactly what somebody said. So it should make sense that if I change the way that they said it, I can't really use the quotation marks because it's not a quote anymore because I changed it. Nor do we use quotation marks, like I just said, right? So we also need to change the pronouns. pronouns. Now, this is where some people start to get angry. It's like, man, there's a lot of things we have to do in reported speech. But like I said, I prepared a document for you guys that I'm going to share with you when I get to it. And hopefully you can use it as a reference and it'll make your life a little bit easier. But basically, you have to know these things, right? That we have to change the pronouns, I, me, you, etc. These are pronouns. And we also have to change any possessive adjectives, things like my or your or things like that. So let's take a look at a couple of examples first, and then we'll talk about what actually is happening. So let's see. The first one says, my name is John. My name is John. Now, if I was doing direct speech, I would just repeat it again, right? I would just say, hey, he said, my name is John. But I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing reported speech. So let's see the difference now. So my name is John. I would say, oh, he said his. Now notice I'm using his, and this is what we mean by you change your possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives are adjectives that show possession, right? So things like my, your, his, her, theirs, things like that. Rodrigo, hello Rodrigo, and welcome to the class, and thank you for joining. So if you've noticed, my changed to his, right? So my name is John. He said his name was, not is, was John, right? So if you've noticed, these are the two things that we say will change. Pronouns change and possessive adjectives change. And of course, the verb to be here became was. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. I don't want to do that. Another one, I don't want to do that. So you can say, oh, she said, she, right? Not I anymore. I'm not using exactly what she said. I'm reporting it now. So it changes. She said she didn't want to do that. Where are you going? Where are you going? He asked me where I was going. All right, now let's actually explain what's happening and what is going on. So in reported speech, we do something in grammar that we call back shifting, right? And the easiest way that I can think of to explain back shifting is basically, back shifting is when you move your tense, right? So tense is what? Things like present, the future, the past, the tenses, right? You guys know we've been doing grammar for a while now, so hopefully I would like to believe you know what tenses are. So very simply, back shifting is when you move your tense one step backwards. So very simply, if you have a present tense, you back shift it. That means you move the tense one step backwards. So if it's present, it becomes past, right? That is it. That's very simply what back shifting is. So don't get scared, right? When it's like back shifting and I have to do stuff with tenses. Yeah, but all you have to do really is just move one step backwards, right? So that's it. It's not that complicated once you get used to it. So we usually back shift the tense of the statement or question that you are reporting, right? So I am from Canada. He said he was from Canada. That's all we did. If you noticed, we just moved the tense one step backwards, right? So he's saying I am from, right? I am. It's the present. It became he said he was, right? And it changed. We back shifted it one step backwards, and the present became the past. And very simply, that's really just the whole trick, right? The trick is people just get confused by, oh, what's the back shift tense that I need to back shift to? And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today, right? So I'm going to share with you a table that shows you all the different tenses and how to backshift all the different tenses. But that's really the main point here today, is just understanding backshifting. So one more time, to backshift, the way that we do reported speech is we use something called backshifting. What is backshifting? Backshifting is when you move or you step backwards one step in the tense that you are using in your sentence. For example, if it's a present tense, like I am from Canada, you shift the present one step backwards and it becomes the past. He said he was, right? So the I am becomes he was from Canada. Another example, we have 2 dogs. She said they had 2 dogs. Again, we just backshifted. Have became had. And now, I don't want you to get scared when you see all of this. These are just examples to show you the backshifting. And actually, I prepared this earlier for you guys today. Where is it? There it is. So I actually I prepared this document. Well, I copied and pasted from different places on the internet. I didn't actually write everything in the document. And I put the link at the bottom so you guys can see where I got it from. But yeah, this is, I'm going to share this with you guys. And as you can see, this document shows you all the different backshifts in the tenses that that are possible or that you can do. So let me just change this. Did I change everything? Yeah, anyone with the link? Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. And of course, YouTube signed me out as usual. So there we go. I'm back in. All right. So I'm gonna share with you guys this document. Please make sure that you download it and make your own copy. Don't forget to make your own copy, or you will lose it in about a few weeks, right? Because I always clean up and I delete all the things that I create here. So please, if you don't want to lose this document, please don't forget, do this right now. It takes 1 second. Click on File and make a copy for yourself so you don't lose it. So there it is, right? You guys can see all the different tenses that you backshift, right? So the present simple, for example, becomes the past simple. The present continuous becomes the past continuous. The past simple or the present perfect, they become the past perfect. The past continuous becomes the past perfect continuous. Can becomes could. May becomes might. Will becomes would. And shall becomes should. So hopefully this is a nice, very simple and easy sort of way to see all the different backshift possibilities that you can do. And there's some more information at the bottom here. And actually there are examples, right? So you can see the simple present becomes the simple past, and there's the sentence and the example for it, right? So hopefully this will be a useful document for you guys that are trying to follow along with the reported speech. And that's basically this here, right? Because I know that you guys can't access the lessons that I'm showing you on the screen. And so yeah, instead of just pausing every 2 minutes, just use this document that I created for you guys, right? Just make sure to make your own copy, please, 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 please. Don't forget, anything that I share with you, you have to make your own copy or you will lose it after a few weeks. So I'm not going to go over all of these examples because it's just basically what I just explained, right? I'm just going to go over a few of them just to show you, right? So the present simple, I live alone. The reported speech, if you want to report this, if somebody comes and says to you, I live alone, and you want to report to me what they said, you would say, you said that you lived alone. The present continuous, I am having a good time. You said that we were, it becomes the past continuous, right? The present continuous becomes the past continuous. You said that we were having a good time. And it's just practice, right? I know this seems like it's a lot of things to keep in your mind, but it really is just practice, right? The more you do it, really, you'll notice that you're not going to even start to think about it. You're not going to sit there and go, oh, wait a second, what tense is this? And what's the backshift tense? And that's not how it is after you practice for some time. But hopefully you can always come back to this sheet and you can very, very quickly find the backshift that you need to do. JB says, I didn't. Oh, I'm surprised that you didn't know that, JB. JB is my grammar backup guy. So I'm surprised myself that you did not know that, JB. I would have expected you to know it. Is everybody okay in the chat? Garima, yes, Garima, yes. That's basically what the example was, yes. All right, let's carry on, because there are some important things that I want to talk about. Now, if you notice, could, mustn't, and should, and would, they have this this symbol we call an asterisk. I guess most people call it the star, but it's called an asterisk. So if you notice, could has an asterisk next to it, and mustn't has an asterisk, should has an asterisk, and would has an asterisk. Now, why? Let's take a look at the sentences. It says, I couldn't understand the movie very well. I couldn't understand the movie very well. Okay, now what's the reported speech for that? You said you couldn't understand the movie very well. And if I look at the other ones with the asterisks, you'll notice, why do they have an asterisk? And might. Because basically these tenses or these words do not change, right? And I also included that in the document that I shared with you guys. So if you go right there, right? So it says there, it says right here, these modal verbs do not change in reported speech. Which ones? Might, could, would, should, and ought to, right? We didn't mention ought to here because ought to is not something that I think was taught yet in this level. But I mentioned it for you guys in this document, right? So you can refer back to this document. So one more time, these are all examples of back shifting, which means what? Which means moving one tense backwards, right? You have to remember though, where is it? Could, mustn't, should, would, might, and I think somebody was asking in the chat, the past perfect simple. These things, we do not back shift them. So very simply, you don't do anything. You just use them the same way that that the person said it to you, right? So we don't back shift these things. One more time. The past perfect simple, we don't back shift that. Could, we do not back shift. Mustn't, we do not back shift it. Should and would and might. All of these things we don't back shift. I think somebody in the chat was asking about the past perfect simple. All right. Hopefully everybody's okay and you're still following along. Nobody's confused. Now, reported speech, say or tell. Now, this is something also that's very useful to know, and I find that some students sometimes don't know the difference. So let's take a look. It's actually pretty easy and it's very, very simple. So in reported speech, we usually use one of these two words, right? When you want to tell me that somebody told you something, that's how you will tell me, right? You'll say, oh, what's his name? Whatever. John said, right? Or John told. Now, when do I use say and when do I use tell? How do I know which one is okay to use when I want to say something? Now, they have the same meaning, but the way that we use them is different. And very, very simply, I usually like to explain it by saying, actually just the same way that it says here. With tell, if you want to say tell, you must tell me the object. In other words, if you say tell, you have to say, who did you tell? So for example, Karim told who? Karim told me. Karim told John. Karim told us. Karim told them. Karim told everybody. Karim told nobody. The point is, you have to mention the object, which is the person that you told whatever you're talking about to, right? So that's it. With say, you do not use the object. It's not that you don't need it, you shouldn't say it, right? So it's not correct to use the object with say. So I cannot say Karim said and then Karim, right? That doesn't make sense. So Karim told you, Karim told me, but Karim said, don't do this. Karim said, don't do this. So after say, you just immediately say what the person said. After tell, you first have to say, who did you tell, right? Or who did whoever it is you're talking about tell. All right, one more thing. It says, this is almost always a person's name or a pronoun, right? And that makes sense. If you say the object that you're, that if you tell something to somebody, that somebody, it makes sense that it's going to be a person's name or the pronoun that represents that person, right? So that should be logical. Also, with both say and tell, we may use the word that. And you guys will see this in the example here. To begin the statement, but it is not necessary. So in other words, Karim said to me, it's possible. I would say Karim told me. Yeah, Karim told me. However, the way that you wrote it is also not wrong. So you said Karim said, and then you said to me. Yeah, if you use to, you can put the object after said. But I would say it's more common to just say told me, right? We use told with the object, and it's much more common to say what the person said if you said. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. I told her she was very pretty. I told her that she was very pretty. And that's what we mean by this last statement. We said that sometimes it's okay, or it's not uncommon to say that to begin the statement, but it's not necessary. So it's up to you, basically. It's your choice. You can say the sentence with that, or you can say the sentence without that. So the teacher told the class. Now notice, because I said told, I have to tell you who, right, did the teacher tell. So the teacher told who? The teacher told the class. That class would be canceled the following week. Or I don't have to use that. I can just say the teacher told the class would be canceled the following week. You didn't tell me that you were coming today. You didn't tell me you were coming today. Again, it's up to you if you want to say that or if you don't want to say that. Karim told us he was going on vacation next month. Yes, Noor, I did. I am going on vacation next month. Okay, carrying on. With say, we do not need an object before the statement. Although not necessary, which is exactly the point that I was just talking to who asked this question. Lolly, right? So this is exactly the point that I was just mentioning a few minutes ago. So with say, you don't need the object before the statement. However, it is, although it's not necessary, you can explain who the sentence was said to with the preposition to, right? So just like I told you, if you really want to tell me who did you say something to, then you need to say to, right? You have to use the preposition to. So I said to her that she was very pretty. I said to her that she was very pretty. Or I can say I said to her she was very pretty. Again, notice that is optional. So you can use it or you don't have to use it. One more time. When using say or tell, the main difference, when you use tell, you have to tell me the object. What does that mean? That means you have to tell me who did you tell, right? So just ask yourself in your head. For example, Ahmed told who? And then you have to say who did he tell first before you say what they said. And if you just say, then you don't need the object. If you really want to use say and at the same time tell me the object, then you have to use to. So I said to her, to us, to me, to them, to the audience, to you, to the whatever it is, right? Anybody who you're talking about, basically. Nicola is asking, Karim, do you have a TEFL? No, I don't have a TEFL, but I have a CELTA, which is the same as TEFL, basically. I have a CELTA certification, which is from Cambridge, basically. Okay, let's carry on. Reported speech questions. When we report questions, we are not actually asking a question. Because of this, we need to change the inversion, as we studied in Grammar 11.1. I think when we were talking about question tags, to the word order of a normal sentence. Right? One more time. When we report questions, we are not actually asking a question, and that makes sense, right? You're not asking. You're reporting it, right? That means you're just telling me that somebody else asked this question, right? So that should make sense in your head. This should not confuse you. One more time. When you are reporting a question, that means you, the person who's reporting, you're not asking the question. You're just telling me that, hey, this is a question that somebody else asked, basically. So because of this, we need to change the inversion to the word order of a normal sentence. So let's take a look. Do you know Pam's phone number? Do you know Pam's phone number? So somebody's asking me, do you know Pam's phone number? If I want to report this, I'll say, oh, you asked me, or he asked me, or whatever, right? If I knew Pam's phone number, right? He asked me if I knew Pam's phone number. Where are you going? You asked me where I was going. So for the people who are confused, in inversion, don't forget, in inversion, the auxiliary verb means the helping verb, right? The auxiliary verb or the helping verb comes before the subject. That's what inversion is. To remove the inversion, we need to place the auxiliary verb after the subject. We use if in questions. For yes and no questions. Yeah, we use if in yes and no questions. Watch, I think last week's lesson or the week before last, basically we talked about that, right? So if you've missed that lesson, go back and watch it. And yeah, we use if for yes or no questions, which means questions that you can answer with yes or no. So one more time, in inversion. What happens in inversion? The auxiliary verb comes before the subject. So to remove the inversion, what do you need to do? You need to put the helping verb or the auxiliary verb after it. And that's it. So for example, where are you going? It becomes you asked me where I was, right? So are is the auxiliary verb, right? Are is our helping verb here. If you notice, I moved it after the subject. And it becomes was. Why? Because of shifting, or sorry, back shifting. What time, excuse me, what time will class start tomorrow? What time will class start tomorrow? You asked me what time class would start tomorrow. When do we back shift? You back shift when you're using reported speech, JB. Anytime you use reported speech, you have to use back shifting. The only exceptions, like I said, the only exceptions is when you use words like might, could, would, should, ought to, and also, like we mentioned here in the examples before, the past perfect simple, right? These are the only times that you don't use.
Actually, we need to unlock the phone first.
Did you guys hear that? My phone, this is something that I hate about Bixby, by the way. Sometimes when I'm talking, Bixby, which is my assistant on my phone, thinks that I'm talking to it, and I'm not, like right now. Anyway, so that's when we backshift, JB, right? So backshift is basically any time you want to report, not in the direct way, right? In the direct way, we just use quotations and you say everything exactly the same way that the person said it. If you want to report, you always backshift, with the exception of the past perfect simple. We don't backshift here. If you notice, the words are the same. I hadn't woken up yet. You said that you hadn't woken up yet, right? So we don't backshift if it's past perfect simple. You don't backshift if you use could. You don't backshift if you use mustn't. We don't backshift if we use should, would, or might. Any other case, if you are going to do, if you want to report something that somebody said, then you have to use backshift. Rodrigo saying, why would somebody want to report a question to the same person who had asked? Not necessarily. We're just using this as the example here, right? Yeah, probably you're not going to report back something to the same person that said it to you. It's just the example, right? It's just the way that the example is set up here. Karim Khan says hello. Hello, Karim Khan, and welcome to the class. Dun, 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 dun. Where were we? All right. So continuing from the inversion stuff. Remember, the auxiliary verbs do, does, and did are not necessary in normal sentence word order. Where do you live? You asked me where I live. Remember, in normal sentence word order, right? Which is the same thing that we were doing here. Remember, inversion is when we put the auxiliary before the subject. Normal is when it comes after the subject. So that's all we're saying here. Do, does, and did, these auxiliary verbs, are not necessary in normal order sentences. So where do you live? It becomes you asked me where I, now because we don't need do and we don't need does and we don't need did in normal sentences, this is why I did not move it here like I did with the inversion. Right? So I hope that is clear for you guys. Nanik Yuliani. Hello Nanik Yuliani and welcome to the class. So just remember, do, does, and did, we don't usually put them in the normal sentence word order. So where do you live? It becomes you asked me where I lived. I don't need to say do. What kind of food does he like? He asked me what kind of food I liked, for example, right? Or he liked. That boy asked me where I lived. Yeah. Hi, oh, thank you, Ames. Thanks. I appreciate that. I love you too, Ames. I love all you guys. You guys are all awesome. All right. With questions, we usually use the verb ask in reported speech. Again, that should be logical, right? If somebody asks you a question, if it's a question, that means they're asking. So when you report it, you report it by saying, whoever it is, John, Karim, Sally, anybody, asked, right? With ask, you have the choice to use an object or not. Now, this is the point that's important about ask. So, one more time. With questions, we usually use the verb ask in reported speech. However, with ask, you have the choice to use an object or not. So basically, let's take a look at the examples and you'll see what we mean. We can't go to a restaurant tonight. Right? That's something that someone said. Now you're reporting it. So you're saying, oh, you asked why we couldn't go to the restaurant tonight, or you asked me, you asked them, you asked her, you asked us, you asked the world. Whatever it is, right? So all we're saying is if you use asked to report something, you can just directly say what they said, or you can use the object as well. After ask, we need a question word for yes or no questions. We use if or whether. One more time. After ask, we need a question word. If it's a yes or no questions, and somebody was asking this here, then we use if or whether. And please, if you're confused about if or whether, that means you missed the class that I did about that. So please go back. I think it was one class or two classes. And you'll see how we use if or whether. Can I ask you a question? Is this correct? Yeah, that's how you write that. Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. So let's take a look. Where should we eat lunch today? Where should we eat lunch today? Is this a yes or no question? Remember, what is a yes or no question? A yes or no question is a question that I can very easily answer by just saying one word, yes or no, right? And you will understand my answer. So is this a yes or no question? If I say, where should we eat lunch today? Can I answer and say yes? Will you understand where we have to go to eat lunch if I just say yes, or if I just say no? No, right? So this is not a yes or no question. So because it's not a yes or no question, I'm going to use ask, and I'm going to need a question word. So you asked where, and there you go. You can see the question word. It comes after asked. Now, what time do you want to meet? Again, is this a yes or no question? If you tell me, hey, what time do you want to meet? And I say yes. Do you know what time we're going to meet? No, you don't. So again, because this is not a yes or no question, well then I need a question word after asked. So you asked me what time, right? What time? You asked what time I wanted to meet. And please don't be confused by the me, because remember, we said when we use ask, you have a choice. You can use an object or you don't have to choose the object. So in the first example here, we didn't use the object after asked. In the second one, we used the object me, right? So don't let that me confuse you. It's still the same. After asked, if it's not a yes or no question, you need the question word. All right, carrying on. Could you give me a hand? Is this a yes or no question? If you ask somebody, hey, can you help me? Could you give me a hand? And you say yes, will they understand? Yeah, I would say yes, right? So this is a yes or no question. So you asked. Now, what did we say? What do we do with yes or no questions? You have to use if or whether. So the reported speech for this would become, you asked if or whether I could give you a hand. You asked if I could give you a hand. You asked whether I could give you a hand. Does he like pizza? Again, is this a yes or no question? Does he like pizza? If somebody says yes to that question, will you understand something or not? You will, right? You will understand that they like pizza. So, does he like pizza? The reported speech for that would be, you asked if he liked pizza. You asked whether he liked pizza. And that's it. These examples are just to showcase this point, right? So one more time, remember, after ask, you need a question word. But if it's a yes or no question, then you have to use if or whether. And don't forget, it's up to you if you want to use an object or not when you say ask. Hello, Julub. I have no idea how to say your name. Jkhyu. I don't know how to pronounce that. But hello and welcome to the class. All right, I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the. Actually, we're done. This is just something for you guys. Reported speech, place and time expressions. Again, this is something that a lot of students usually struggle with, and they don't like it very much. But I have to show it to you, right? So for place expressions and time expressions, you have to be careful. So let's take a look at the changes that you have to focus on. So place or time expressions, what do we mean? We mean things like today, now, yesterday, blah, 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 days ago, 2 days ago, or 5 days ago, last week, next year, tomorrow, and then place expressions like here, this, and these. So again, I would just keep this in front of me. So if you guys can see the screen now, pause the video, take a screenshot or something like that, because this is just basically something that you have to remember, right? So all we're saying over here is, in direct speech, if somebody says today, when you report it, you have to say that day. When somebody says now, when you report it, you have to say then or at that time. If somebody says yesterday, then you have to say the day before or the day, Tuesday or whatever it was. 2 days ago will become 2 days before. Last week becomes the week before or the previous week. Next year becomes the following year, or next week becomes the following week. Next day becomes the following day. Tomorrow becomes the next day, the following day, like I said. Here becomes there, this becomes that, and these becomes those, right? That's usually students don't really like this part of the lesson, because yeah, it's something that you have to remember. But pretty much that's what happens to these words when you use reported speech, and that really is today's lesson. Karim, for me, struggling is when I speak. Struggling is when I speak. I struggle with speaking. You can say I struggle with speaking, or you can say, yeah, I would say I struggle with speaking. All right, so that's pretty much today's lesson. So I'll give you guys very quickly a recap on everything that we said, and then we'll see. Let's do a couple of exercises or something. So one more time, one more time. I'm gonna give you the link for this document for anybody who came a little bit late to the class, or if you've missed it in the beginning. Basically, this document has all the really important information in the lesson that we talked about today, all in very sort of a what's the word? A summarized presentation, so you guys can very quickly see how to do the back shift, which is basically the most important thing about today's lesson, right? It's understanding what is back shifting. So please keep this document with you, and please don't forget, make your own copy so that you don't lose it. If you don't make your own copy, you'll notice that the document will disappear after a few weeks, right? Because I always clean up my drive every couple of weeks or so. So please make your own copy so you don't lose it. What else? All right, so quick revision on everything that we've talked about today. Reported speech. Reporting means to talk about what someone else said earlier, right? You're telling me what somebody said before. In English, you can report things using two ways. The first way is super easy, no problems in the first way whatsoever. We call it direct speech. And direct speech is very easy. All you have to do is just repeat what someone said, right? And when I say repeat, I mean you repeat it exactly. You don't change anything. You don't change a word. You don't change the order of the words. You don't change a letter, nothing, right? You change nothing. You say exactly what they said. You're just repeating it, right? It's imagine you're clicking rewind and you're pressing play and you're watching them say it again, right? That's direct speech. The important thing about direct speech is, like I said, use the exact words. Don't change anything. But to show that this is direct speech, to make people understand that this was something that somebody said, it wasn't me, and this is how they said it, you have to put it inside quotation marks, right? Quotation marks are these things here, right? Those two little things that we put on top at the beginning and at the end of the sentence. Usually, we use say for statements when you want to report that somebody said something that's a statement, and we use ask if you want to report a question that somebody had or somebody asked before. So this is direct speech. My name is John. He said, my name is John, right? That's it. You repeat it exactly the same way that they said it, and you put the quotation marks, and that makes people understand that, hey, this is not what you said, this is what they said. So that part is easy. Reported speech. Reported speech is another way to say something that somebody else said. The important thing to understand about reported speech is that we don't repeat what they said exactly, right? Things change when you are reporting, right? Things change when you're using reported speech, which means what? The pronouns usually change and the possessive adjectives usually change. Pronouns like I, me, you, she, he. Possessive adjectives are things like my, your, his, her, theirs. These things change. So for example, my name is John. It becomes he said his name was John. I don't want to do that. She said she didn't want to do that. And that makes sense because I'm telling you what she said, right? So it's going to change. Now, the part that's super important in today's lesson is the back shifting, and that is what this document is for. That's why I made and I shared with you guys this document. So I didn't actually make it. I just copied and pasted like from all over the internet. I don't want anybody to say that I created this. I did not. I just copied and pasted a lot of things. But pretty much this document talks about all the back shifting. And what is backshifting? One more time. Backshifting is when you take the tense in your original sentence and you move it. You backshift. Shift means move and back is back, right? So you backshift it one tense backwards. So the present becomes the past. The present continuous becomes the past continuous, right? And things like that. The only important thing really to know about backshifting is you can backshift all these tenses like so, but you cannot backshift these ones. So you cannot backshift the past perfect simple. That means you just use it the same way that it is. You don't need to backshift it. You cannot backshift could, mustn't, should, would, and might. Right? So that these are the only exceptions to the backshifting rule. If you're using any other words, then you backshift. If you use any of these ones, you don't backshift. And that's really what backshifting is. Please study this sheet as much as you can. This will help you understand the backshifting. And as you can see, it also has the examples, so you can actually see how to backshift specific examples in specific tenses. So yeah, please don't lose this document. Hopefully it will make things easy. Say or tell. Say or tell are the two most common words that we use when you're reporting something that someone said. The only difference between say and tell is when you use tell, you need the object. What does that mean? What's the object? It's the person that you told. Who did you tell, right? So if you say I told, I have to say I told who. I told you. I told them. I told her. I told it. Whatever you want to say, right? But the point is tell needs the person that you're talking to. I have to know who did you tell. If you say, you don't really need that. If you say, actually you shouldn't use the object. If you say, just go straight into what you want to say. If you really want to use the object with say, then you need to use the preposition to. So you have to say, you didn't say to who, to me, to you, to them, to us, to whatever you want. Boom, 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 boom. Is there anything that I am forgetting? I don't think so. In questions, if you are reporting questions, the important thing, of course, to remember is you're reporting. That means you're not asking the question, right? You're just reporting it. You're telling me what somebody else asked. You're not the one who's doing the asking, right? So because of this, you need to change inversion. What is inversion? Inversion is when you have the auxiliary verb before your subject. So basically, if you're reporting questions, well then we don't do that, right? You put it after the subject. So where are you going becomes you asked me where I was, right? So I move the auxiliary verb after the subject. And just like before, when we use do, does, or did, we don't use that in the normal sentence, right? So where do you live? In a normal sentence, I would say you asked me where I lived, right? I don't need do, does, or did in a normal order in a sentence. With questions, we usually ask, or we use the verb ask in reported speech. With ask, you have the choice to use an object or not. What does that mean? It means if you say asked, if this is how you're going to report, and you say he asked, or they asked, or he asked, or whatever, right? It's up to you. You can tell me who they asked. You can say the subject, the object, or you can just directly report what you want to report. After ask, however, we need a question word. For yes or no questions, you have to use if or whether. As you can see here, you asked, I need the question word, where, right? You asked where we should eat lunch today. And remember, don't get confused if you see something like me after asked. Why? Because we just said, if you want to use ask, it's a choice, it's up to you. You can use the object or not. So that's what we did here. In the first example, we did not use the object. You asked, and then I immediately wrote my question word. In the second one, I did use the object. You asked me. But still, I have to use the question word. If it's a yes or no question, that means a question that you can answer by saying yes or no. Well, then you have to use if or whether. You asked if I could give you a hand. You asked whether I could give you a hand. The link at the end in the given doc is not working. Why? It should work. There, it's working. It's working for me, Garima. It works. It doesn't matter. The link is just. It's just. I'm showing you the page where I got the same information in the document. There's nothing extra in the link. It's exactly the same information in the document that I gave you. I just put the link so you guys see the source, or so you can know where I got it from. But it doesn't. It doesn't. Who was saying this? Garima. Garima. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. Don't worry about it. There's nothing extra in the link. Dun, 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 dun. And the last thing that I said, this is just something that you have to memorize, really, right? Or just you have to get used to it. These words change. These specific words, they change when we're using reported speech. So today becomes that day, now becomes then or at that time, yesterday, the day before, last week, the week before, next year, tomorrow, the following year, the following day. Here becomes there, this becomes that, these becomes those. And that's pretty much today's lesson. I don't want to say it's difficult. I just want to say that this is just probably something that you need to practice a lot, just because of the different variations of the back shifting, right? And once you get used to it, really, it becomes normal. All right, who wants to do some exercises? Who wants to do exercises? Ahmed. Oh, thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for changing your name in English so that everybody can read it. All right, let's do some exercises. Let me do this, and let me also open the answers so I can give you guys the answers after that. Share with you the answers later. Let's see, which exercise should we do? Boom, 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 boom. These are all ones where you have to choose. Let's see. I think we're gonna do exercise 2. I think it's yeah. Let's let's do exercise 2, you guys. So let's go to exercise 2. It says change the direct speech sentences to reported speech. So for example, the first one says you asked, are you having a good time, right? And as you can see, this is exactly what you asked because it's inside quotations, right? So I would change this to, like it says here, you asked, and remember, asked, it's up to you. You can use the object or not. It's your choice because I'm using the word asked. So you asked if I was having a good time. Now, why did I say if in this sentence? Because this is a yes or no question, right? I can say yes and you will understand. I can say no and you will understand my answer. So you asked me whether I was having a good time, or you asked if I was having a good time. So let's go for exercise 2, everybody, please, and let's go for B, C, D, E, and E. Let's start with those and see how you guys do, right? So B, C, D, and E. B, C, D, and E. Don't worry, you guys. You're going to do well, I know. All right, so B, C, D, and E. I'll give you guys a minute, and I'll be back very soon. Let me get out of your face. Like that. Minute and a half, and I'll be back, you guys. Oh, did I not give you the link? Ooh, that's my mistake. Sorry. Let me come back here. Yes, I didn't I didn't share the exercise with you. I'm so sorry, you guys. No, that's not what I want. I want to make a copy first. Make a copy. Yes. Share and advanced. Change this to anyone with the link. Say yes. Copy that. There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. I forgot to share the link. Here it is. I'll put it in the chat right now. You can download the document. Don't forget, make your own copy. And I will see you in a minute. Bam. Nothing happened. Bam. Oh my God, it's not working. Bam. There we go. And we're back. All right, so let's see what you guys did. I think you guys actually were doing pretty good, I think. Or at least from what I saw. All right, so let's see. The first one, Peter said, Earth has one moon, right? So this guy named Peter, he said, Earth has one moon. Let me just, where are your answers? A or B, sorry, B. Peter said that Earth has one moon. Peter said that Earth had one moon. Ah, there we go. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Peter said that the Earth had one moon. Very good, very nice. I'm surprised actually. Let's see. So the answer is, Peter said that Earth had. You need to say had one moon because of the back shift, right? So Peter said Earth has one moon. It's going to be Peter said that Earth, or I can say that or not, right? So Peter said Earth had one moon, or Peter said that Earth had one moon. So good job for the guys who got that one right. The second one says, Wendy said he is going to invest in the company. Wendy said he was going to invest in the company. Very nice, Garima. Wendy said that he was going to invest in the company. Very good, Edgard. Where's the other one? Wendy said that he was going to invest in the company. Very nice, Pilar. Yeah, you guys are doing well. Very nice. You guys are getting it. Pretty good. Wendy said that he was, right? So is becomes was, going to invest in the company. Yeah, very good. Very, very good. Last one, you asked, did you see the comets last night? Did you see the comets last night? And what did you guys say? You asked if I saw the comments last night. You asked if I saw the comments last night. And you asked, did anybody, I think you guys, I think most of you got this one wrong. This one was a little tricky. Last night, you asked if I saw, no. I don't know if there's anybody who got this one correct, but the answer for this is, you asked me if I had seen the comets last night, right? Yeah, you asked me if I had seen the comments last night. And I think Noor said that she changed it to had. Very good. And that is it. So good job, you guys. I think you did pretty well. Those were not easy for a concept that has a lot of information to grasp on the first time. But I'll also just before I forget, let me. I'm going to share with you guys a copy of the answers, so you guys can do the rest of the exercise at home, and you can check yourselves and see if everything is okay or not. So just give me 1 second. I need to change the sharing options. Yes. Copy. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there you go. You guys have a copy of the answers to this document, so you can practice at home, and you can also check to see if you guys are answering correctly or not. And that's pretty much it. I think it's already been almost an hour and a half. So let me. Where am I? Reading out loud and paying more attention to all the comments. To all the comments, that's impossible, Nicola. then the class will never finish. I'm sorry, I really am. But there's always going to be a few people that I'm not going to see their comments, or I'm just not going to answer some of the things that you write in the comments. I try my best, and I try to take different things every week, and I try to find things that are important for what I'm talking about, but it's just impossible. This is something that's impossible to do, right? There's no way for me to look at all the comments in the chat and to actually address each and every single one. That's impossible. Thank you, even though we get confused. Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a tough lesson, or not tough. It's a lot, right? It's a lot to process all at the same time. That's why hopefully this document that I made for you guys will make your life easier when you practice this. And it's just practice, right? It's just a matter of practice. Like, I don't know, if you spend 10 minutes a day doing a few exercises that you can find online for reported speech, you are going to get used to it eventually, and believe me, it's going to become something that you don't even think about anymore. It's just automatic, and you can do it very quickly. So yeah, I know it's a lot to process, but please watch the lesson again slowly at your own pace. Go over the different points, pause the video, look at different examples, and use that document that I made for you guys. All right, let me do my outro very, very quickly, and then I will give you movie quote of the week for this week, and then I will get out of your face. And I'll see you guys next week. Next week is the last lesson before my holiday, so don't miss next week's class, just because it's going to be the last one, right? And I'm not going to see you guys for some time. I'll still upload some videos and things, but there isn't going to be any classes from me for about 1 month. So that's it. So let me do my outro quick so you guys can go. All right. So if you don't know, I don't know why I'm talking this way. Anyway, if you don't know by now, you guys are watching this awesome free English class on the Smart English YouTube channel. If you have not done so yet, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell notification so you can get updates about when our next videos are going to be. And please, if you are still watching this video till now, well then react to it. If you like it, please give us a thumbs up. If you don't like this video, give us a thumbs down. But give us something, right? It tells YouTube that people like this content, and they try to find people with similar interests that they can show this content to. And the thumbs down, well, that's a way for us to sort of see which videos you guys didn't like and why. Hopefully reach a reason to why you didn't like the videos. So please react to the video, right? Like it if you like it, and dislike it if you dislike it. If you go all the way down to the bottom of the channel, you will find my face, boop-de-boop, on my face. I really want to change this picture, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like this picture. I want to change it. But yeah, click on my face. It's going to take you to my page, Smart English with Karim. And ooh, I just noticed I have 999. Who's going to be the 1,000th subscriber? By the way, I'm not going to give you guys anything, right? I don't have anything to give you if you're subscriber number 1,000. But Smart Karim with English, Smart English with Karim. Come and check me out over there too. I post much shorter videos on this channel, minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, things like that. I show you Vancouver, and I play some idiom games and things like that with you guys. Also, for those of you who don't know, I have my own personal channel on YouTube. It's called Food AF. And you can guess, it's a food channel. I like cooking very much, and I like to feed people. So that's my channel. It's a food channel. I have a cooking show. So please come and check me out. I don't teach English really very much, but I talk in English so you can practice listening. Our Facebook group. So this is the place for everybody who's angry at me in the chat right now because I did not see your comment or read it, or maybe I ignored it, or whatever it is. This is where to go, right? This is the place. If you have a question about anything that's related to English, post your question in the group, and I guarantee somebody is always going to answer. Always. There's always somebody who's going to answer you, and people love to help each other out in this group. And it's a large group, and it's very active. So I really recommend that you guys join the group. Also, this is basically where I post a lot of my announcements, right? So about today's class, for example. This is where I posted about today's class. Usually I post before the class starts and I mention what the topic of the class is going to be. So if you want to know that type of information, or if you just have questions that you want answers for, this is where to do it. Rodrigo says, I like to eat. That's a good thing, Rodrigo. Then you should check out my channel. You'll find hopefully some good things to eat. So join the Facebook group. It's called Learn English on Facebook with Smrt. Our Discord group is also very cool. People have fun in there. We share cool stuff and pictures and videos and stuff like that. So I am going to give you the link for that right now. Discord is free. It doesn't cost you anything. So please think about it. Come and join us over there. It's nice and fun over there too. And I believe that is it. One last thing I want to mention for the people who ask, how do we donate money to you guys? Or, oh, what you're doing is really cool and I want to give you some cash. There's two ways to do that. Below any of our videos, my videos on the Smart English with Karim or Smart English, any of the videos, there's a link that will take you to this page. And this page is basically, I'll put the link for you in the comment if you guys don't know where it is. smartenglish.com. This is where you donate, support, show us a little love, whatever you want to call it, with a $5 a month subscription. Now, this is not necessary. You don't really have to do this. We will still love you guys, and we will still provide these English classes for free. That's always going to be the case here. But this is for the people who are asking, how do we show any extra support to you guys? And you can cancel at any time. The other way to do it is through the chat. So the chat that you guys are using right now, there's a button that looks like a $sign. If you click on that button, it sends super chat, which sounds very super, and then you can donate directly, and this is one time, right? So this is not a subscription every month. This is just one time. Please don't let the word subscription scare you from subscribing to our YouTube channel. This is not the same thing. YouTube is free, and it's always going to be free. The other subscription on the webpage is separate, right? So don't worry. It's not going to cost you anything to subscribe to this channel. And that's pretty much it. So I think I can go big now. Let me go big. There we go. I'm big. It would be cool if the title of the video lesson has more description or the name of the lesson. I absolutely agree 100% with you, David. Yes, that is something that's important, and we're gonna do it soon, right? We're gonna do it soon. It's just Julian's a very busy man. And yeah, don't worry, we will get to that. But I agree, 100% agree. I think it would be much better if we actually name at least the videos with the topic or the subject for the day. So yeah, that's in my mind, and I don't have it right now, but I actually wrote that down somewhere in a note. So the next time that I have a meeting with the smart people, we will talk. We'll talk about this basically. So, but yes, I appreciate the comment, and I agree with you 100%. Yes, exactly, something like that, JB. Yeah, intermediate English with Karim number 49, reported speech. But yeah, I totally agree with what you guys are saying. All right, I think and I believe that was everything, right? Yeah, that was everything. If you do a class without the cap, this will be awesome. I don't know, man. I can't take my cap off. My cap is my thing. That's my personality. But I don't know why is everybody focused on my hat? What's so important about my hat that everybody keeps asking about? That's very hard. It's very hard. I like hats, and a hat is part of my persona, basically. So yeah, it's very. I feel naked when I'm not wearing a hat. Like let me tell you this: I wear a hat at home, right? So you can see how important hats are for me, right? Yeah, I even wear it at home. So I'm not sure that I'm ever going to do a class without the hat. I don't know. We'll see. All right, where's the movie quote for this week? Let me find it. Dun, 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 dun. He said, no, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I don't do, Nicola. I don't sleep with the hat. Yeah, it's just, you can't. I wish you could, but you can't, because when you turn around, this thing comes in the way, right? And it doesn't work. So unfortunately, I can't sleep with the hat. It would be nice if I could, but I can't. All right. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to, Karim. So that's a good thing. All right. So here we go. Movie quote of the week for this week. Remember, everybody, the person that you want to beat in the chat is Smrt. Smrt is the reigning champion. She's very hard to beat. Even though who was it? Gloria, I think. Last week was actually first, but she just answered wrong. So I'm gonna go very, very quickly over the rules. The rules are very simple. If you know the movie, don't tell me now. Don't write it in the chat. Don't mention it in the chat. Wait until I say goodbye, until I play the music at the end of the video. When I close the video, the comment section for the video will pop up. Not the chat, the comment section. And that is where you have to type your answer. If you type your answer in here right now, I will ignore it and I will delete it and I will pretend that I never saw it. And you're just going to help the others win, right? So wait until the video is done. When the comment section below the video appears, that is where you want to type the name of the movie. Smrt is a man or a woman? Smrt is a woman. Smrt is a woman. And she's the champion of movie quote of the week so far. All right, here we go. So this is a scene from a very cool movie, actually. I really like this movie. And it's two people talking, a woman and a man, and they're talking to each other. It's very short. It's just two sentences. I'm going to say two sentences from this movie, right? So two people are talking, a man and a woman. The woman is going to speak first, okay? So this is what she says. She says, "What happened to your nose? What happened to your nose?" And then he says, "I was using it to break some guy's fist." It's a classic. I love that line. All right, one more time. What happened to your nose? I was using it to break some guy's fist. And that's it. That is movie quote of the week for this week. Remember, don't tell me now in the chat. If you think you know the movie, wait until you see the comment section below the video. Not the chat, the comment section, and then write it over there. Try to be quick because Smrt is lightning fast, and it's very hard to beat Smrt. So good luck, you guys. And that's pretty much it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming to another Wednesday with me. Thank you to everybody who's been watching me since my first stream. It still blows my mind that you guys come and waste 2 hours of your life every week to watch me talk. So thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you guys basically next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Vancouver time. And that's Vancouver, Canada, not Vancouver, Washington, because some people get confused with that, right? So Vancouver, Canada is the time zone that you want, right? So 3 p.m. next Wednesday, Vancouver, Canada time. And I will see you then. Somebody's asking one more time, please. Oh, the movie quote? Okay, it says, "What happened to your nose? I was using it to break some guy's fist." What happened to your nose? I was using it to break some guy's fist. And that's the movie quote. All right, so that's it, you beautiful, beautiful, smart students and lovely people of the internet. I will get out of your face right now. So until I see you next Wednesday, have a good morning, a good evening, and a good night. Shapow!